This is my older brother, Andy. When Andy was a few months old, my parents started to notice something was wrong. Andy didn't respond when they came into the room and struggled to make eye contact. This led them to a doctor and then a series of doctors who eventually told them that the only diagnosis they could give him was pervasive developmental disorder not otherwise specified. This landed him on the autistic spectrum. My brother is not alone. In the United States, 1 out of every 68 children has some form of autism spectrum disorder. This comes out to about 1 million United States children and countless numbers of adults. As autism becomes more prevalent in society, more and more people are going to be exposed to autistic people at some point in their lives. Many people are often nervous to interact with autistic individuals because they do not know how to. I created this video because I want to teach people how they can effectively communicate and help those in need. My hope is to build a supportive community for all disabled individuals. Today, I present to you Autism 101, a guide to interacting with autistic people. So, what specifically is autism? Autistic individuals are characterized by having difficulty maintaining social interaction, struggling with verbal and nonverbal communication, and exhibiting repetitive behaviors. Many are also extremely sensitive to loud noises or intense visual stimuli. For my brother, this meant that every car horn, dog bark, or baby cry led to an immediate meltdown. So my first tip for you is that if you ever experience a disabled person having a meltdown, understand that they are most likely confused and scared. You can help them by calming them down or giving them a minute to recover from the sensory overload. Tip number 2. When talking to an autistic individual, only talk in literal language. Sarcasm, allusions, metaphors, and idioms are often taken at face value. Tip number 3. When in doubt, assume that an autistic individual is naive. As Andy's family, our worst nightmare is that someone takes advantage of him and his naivety. If you ever see a questionable situation involving someone you know to be disabled, do not hesitate to report it. Tip 4. Many times, autistic individuals will repeat things without understanding what it means. When asking someone with autism about how they feel, make sure to phrase your question as a longer response. A longer response allows them to talk more and allows you to understand them better. Tip number 5. Be prepared for autistic individuals to break social norms. Many of them do not understand the boundaries of personal space or what is or is not acceptable in certain situations. The best thing to do is to gently remind them that a certain action is not appropriate. Tip number 6. Don't be alarmed if they do not make eye contact with you. For many of them, making eye contact is a conscious effort that distracts from their ability to digest what you are saying. Just because they're not looking at you doesn't mean they're not hearing what you're saying. Tip number 7. Many autistic people have high anxiety, especially about change. You may need to reassure them several times before doing something new. Some days they will be more open to change, and other times they won't be. Try to encourage them to try something new, but be flexible if they decide they don't want to do it. Tip number 8. Some autistic people have trouble reading facial expressions and understanding others' emotions. Make sure you are very explicit about how you feel and try to explain it to them so that they can relate. Finally, remember that autism is only a small part of who they are. My brother Andy loves to listen to classical music, play piano, go running, and ice skate. He loves trying new foods like octopus and alligator, and he loves spending time with his family and friends. I hope that as a community, we can support these individuals. I want to know that there are people out there who will care for my brother when I'm not around. So now I ask you to take on the responsibility of helping those in your community. If you would like to learn more about autism and work with autistic people, consider joining Best Buddies, Special Olympics, or you can consider volunteering with Autism Speaks, a charity that raises money for autism research. To conclude, I hope that this video has helped you understand more about how to identify and interact with autistic individuals. Thank you.